Good day, students. I hope everybody is doing well. Glory be to God. Today, our main strands here is number. Our substrands still remain number operation under the multiplication. Under the multiplication, we also have another method that we can use to find the product of numbers. And this method is called hyphen and doubling method. This hyphen and doubling method of multiplication is used to find the product of numbers. Okay, so we'll take them one after the other. We have already discussed the skip counting method, where we said we have the two components, the one that will be skip counting up and the one that will be skip counting down. Now you are learning something new here. This method is quite new and it deals with the even numbers in the multiplication. So whenever you are multiplying numbers and there's an even number, I think the best method that you can choose to find the product of those numbers is the hyphen and doubling method. Okay, good. Let's see some of the properties of hyphen and doubling method of multiplication. This method deals directly with the even number only. So whenever you have a multiplication problem and you want to use this method to solve, you make sure that there's an even number in the situation, because it can only work when there's an even number in the situation. That is why this method deals directly with the even number only. It helps in reducing one of the method or one of the numbers in multiplication, which is an even number, by finding the half of it and use it to multiply other number, and then use other half to multiply the same number of multiplication as double. Then added each of the products together. So whenever you spot an even number in a situation, you find the half of the even number and then use the half to multiply the other multiplier, and then use the other half to also multiply the same multiplier as double. Okay, after then you find the products of each half and then you add them. Whenever your two numbers of multiplication are even numbers, then select the minimum or smaller even numbers as a multiplier and find the half of it, and then you proceed and follow this sequence. Like what I said, this method only works whenever there's an even number in the multiplication. So assuming that we have a situation that involves two even numbers and we were asked to multiply them, then in order not to cause harm to yourself or not to suffer too much, then you have to choose the minimum even number or the smaller even number, though they might all be even numbers, but for easier way of solving a certain problem, you choose the minimum or the smaller even number amount those multiplication. Okay, then note the product of each half added together are always the same. So when you have the even number and then use the half to multiply the other side, the other half will be used to multiply the same number. So you will see clearly that the numbers that will be in the bracket will be the same. Therefore, the product of each will also be the same. And then you add them to get your answer. Okay. This method deals directly with the even numbers only. It can only work when there's an even number. So it helps reducing one of the numbers in the multiplication, which is an even number, by finding the half of it into say numbers near number even number. Then you find the half of the other one, the even number, and then use the half to multiply the other number. And again, use the other half to multiply the same number that you multiply. Therefore, you find the product of that and then you add the products. And as I said, even numbers need to, then you choose the minimum even number and then you find the half of it and use it to multiply as you said it earlier on, okay? Note, the product of each half added together are always the same. Like what I said here, when you use the half to multiply the other one, the answer that you get will be the same as using the other half to multiply the same number. Okay, good. Let's try one more example and see how hyphen and doubling method works when there's an even number in a situation. Okay, good. Now, example. By applying halving and doubling method of multiplication, solve the following problems below. A, 8 times 13. B, 15 times 4. C, 24 times 10. And D, 12 times 12. 12 times 17. Good. Now, I said this method here works only when you have an even number in the situation. So let's proceed and solve these problems here, okay? Now, let me have my solution. Good. And then illustration. Now I'm going to take them one after the other. So let's take the A. The A is 8 times 13. So the 8 times 13 here, then you identify the what? The even number here. And when you talk about even numbers, they are the numbers that are divisible by 2 or numbers that can be divided by 2 without any remainder. That is an even number. So the even number here is what? Is the 8. Then you find the half. You find the half of 8. Okay. So the half of 8 is 4. Okay. Now we have 4 plus 4. So let me put them in a bracket, okay? So that it will be nice here. Good. Times times 13. Okay. Then after finding the half of the even number, we have realized that we have the 4 plus 4. The half of the 8 is 4. Okay. So the 4 plus 4 give us what? The what? The 8. Always we find the half. Half means you divide it by 2. Okay. That is the half. After then, use each of the half to multiply the 13. Or whenever a number outside the brackets means that number is multiplied, those numbers inside the bracket by each. Okay. So anytime there's a number outside a bracket, it means that number is multiplying those numbers inside the brackets by each digit here. or we distribute the 13 among those numbers in the bracket. So with this one here, we are going to use the half of the 8, each of them, to multiply the 13. Then we find the product of that. So here will be our first bracket here will be 4 times 8. 4 times 13. That will be in different brackets here. Okay. Then plus the other half will still be 4 times 13. Let me close the brackets here. Let me extend this one so that it should be this form. Good. So this is how it's supposed to be. So this method, you find the half of the even number and then use each of the half to multiply the other side. So you could see clearly that those numbers in the bracket had been double. Okay, that is why we call it you doubling the what, the multiplication in one bracket here. So when you multiply, you get the same answer. So you work 4 times 13 somewhere to write your answer. Okay, so the 4 times 13, you work it somewhere here, and let's work them. So we have the 13 here. Okay, times 4. So 4 times 3 will give you 12. Then you write the 2 here. Remember 1. 4, 1 will give you 4. Plus remember here we get what, 52. Okay. So with this, we have 52 here. 52. And I hope the other side too will be 52. Okay. Plus here too will be 52. The same. So let me shift this one to this side. Now we have this one. Now we are going to add a 52 plus 52. So with this, let me raise this side. Great. Now let me add the 52 plus 52 here. Okay, we have the 52, the 52 plus 52. Okay, then 2 here will give you 4, and then here will be 10. Okay, so 104. So therefore, our final answer here will be 104. Okay, good. So that is the question 1. So therefore, 8 times 13 is equal to 104. Okay, good. Now let's solve the B. We have the B here. Okay, good. Here is the A. Now the B. The B2. We have this number, which is 15 times 4. So the 15 times 4, you spot or you identify the even number here. And then the even number here is 4. So you find the half of 4. And the half of 4 is what? Is 2. So the 15 will be used to multiply the brackets here. Then the half of 4 will be 2 plus 2. Okay, good. So this is how it's supposed to be. So now we have this one here. So the next step is we are going to use the half, each of the half, to multiply the 15 here. Okay, so now you'll be getting 15 times 2 in the brackets plus another 15 in the brackets here times 2. Okay, good. Now, when you multiply 15 by 2, I hope it's 30, right? So 15 by 2 is 30 plus 30. Okay, so here to 15 by 2 is 30. So when you add a 30 by 30, the answer will be 60. Okay, good. Therefore, 15 times 4 is equal to 60. Okay, good. Now let me solve the question, the other one too here. The question C. Now we have the C. Solve the C here. Okay. The question C is 24 times 10. This is a situation whereby the two numbers are all even numbers here. So when it happens like this, you choose the minimum or the smaller even number here. And the minimum even number here is what? Is a 10. So you find the half of the 10, okay? So using the halving and doubling method, you first find the half of the even number, and you use each of the half to multiply the other number. Then after that, you add the product of each. Okay, good. So here we are going to find the half of 10. Though they are all even numbers, but when it appears like this, you choose the smaller even number here so that your multiplication will be very easier and simplest form. So let me write the half the half of what? 10. Now we have this one here, which will be used to multiply the half of the 10. Okay. And the half of 10 is 5 plus what? 5. Okay. That's each half. Good. Now, when you finish with the 5, then you are going to use each of the half here to multiply the 24. So when you take the 5, use it to multiply 24 in a separate bracket, and then you take the other half, which is 5, to multiply another 24 in another separate bracket here. So you first write or draw your brackets here, and then you state that number, which is the half of the what? The 10, to multiply that plus the other half. Okay, which is also 5. Okay, good. Okay. Now with this, we are going to multiply 25 or 24 by 5, and here this time it's 24 by 5. So when you get the product of 24 by 5 and another 24 by 5, then you write it and then you add the product of that. Okay, so 24 by 5 here will be 120. Okay, or let's work it somewhere here. Okay, good. 24 times 5. Okay, 5 times 4 is what? 20. So you write the 0 and then the 2. 5, 2, which is 10 plus 2, which is 12. Okay, that is 120. Are you okay? So here is 120 each. 120 plus another 120. Okay, good. Now you have gotten 120 plus 120, because each of the 24 multiplied by 5 will give you 120. Then you add. Okay, good. Let me add. Now let me clean this side. Okay, good. And let me add this one. 120 by 120 is 0, 2, 1. Then you add them. Okay, so here will be 0, 4, 2. Okay, that is 240. Then here the final answer here is 240. Okay, good. Therefore, therefore, 24 times 10 is equal to 240. Okay, good. Good. Now you can try the last one, okay, which is 12 times 17. This time, the even number here is 12. Then you split the 12 into 2, and that one will be 6 plus 6, okay? And then use the 6, each of the 6 to multiply the 17. After then you add them, okay? You can try your hand on that, okay? Good. So always try to use the hyphen and doubling method of multiplication to solve some of the multiplication problem that you don't understand. But this method can only work when one side of the multiplication is an even number. Make note of that, okay? Good. So you can't be using this method to solve all the problem, especially whereby the two numbers are odd numbers, okay? Good. Thank you for watching. I hope you have learned a lot. Let's see. See you later, okay? Bye. Make sure that you try your hand on D, okay? Good.